The Dutch Grand Prix. Now, after 4 weeks of absolutely nothing in Formula One, finally we get some action going down to Zandvoort, whatever the hell, I don't know Dutch. Honestly, I wasn't expecting anything less than Max Verstappen winning again. That's how hard that was to say. Fucking hell, my body choked. Lewis Hamilton, he went out in Q2, arguably because he was impeded by a lot of drivers. I went to Twitter to see what was going on and what people were going to say about this. Lewis Hamilton's fan went in on Yuki Tsunoda. They completely bombarded the FIA, demanding that Yuki got a penalty because he impeded Lewis Hamilton on his hot lap. Guess what? FIA, listen. And Yuki qualified 14th, one place behind Hamilton. Still, he got a penalty for impeding Hamilton. Not like he was ahead or anything. Like, poor guy. Man was behind Hamilton, and the FIA still penalized him and pushed him even further back. Like, that's just not fair. Now, during qualifying, we almost had, this is a fake microphone, by the way. Now, during qualifying, we had a 1-2 from McLaren. We had a 1-2 from McLaren up until Max Verstappen, remember who the hell he is, and he must have clicked the button on the Red Bull, and suddenly he turned on the propellers, and goddamn did that thing fly, clearing them by almost a whole second. He was half a second clear from P2 by the end of qualifying. That's insane. Max Verstappen, Jesus Christ. Now the Grand Prix went exactly how you would expect it to go.
And we go racing in Zandvoort. Verstappen crosses the line to win 9 Grand Prix in a row.
Now let's take a second. Fernando Alonso was in the podium. My man is 42 years old and he's driving like he's in his prime. He started P5. He got to the top. He was battling for pole position in the second position within the first lap, within 2 corners. My man is 42 years old. Aston Martin are sitting currently in third place in the Constructors' Championship with 215 points, out of which Fernando Alonso is carrying a hefty 168. Now that's some heavy lifting right there. Lance, what the hell are you doing, mate? Now Ferrari, Carlos Sainz was in charge of carrying the whole team throughout this Grand Prix because Charles Leclerc was being Charles Leclerc, and I guess the car wasn't able to perform because he started P10 and he fell back to P15. Now Logan Sargent in a Williams, he crashed in qualifying and then he crashed in the race, and then he was seen just sitting in a chair just watching the rest of the Grand Prix. And I think it's because he didn't want to face his mechanics, because he knew that his mechanics were going to rip him to shreds for crashing twice in a row and giving him so much work, on top of the work they already have to do. Rumor has it, if you go to Zandvoort, Logan Sargent is still there hiding from his mechanics. Lewis Hamilton fans are not happy with Mercedes, because when the rain started pouring down, they thought it was only going to be a couple of minutes and it wasn't going to be so heavy. It turns out it was a river worth of water. And Mercedes decided to attack Lewis Hamilton's fans decided to attack Mercedes, telling them that it was a shit strategy call, that, it was horrible, and how could you do that to Lewis Hamilton? And even Lewis Hamilton was heard on the radio complaining. Now, on the restart, it was going to be an interesting one, because the red flag was waved at the 65th lap, and there was 72 laps. There was 6 laps left. Now, deduct 2, because 2 behind the safety car for the restart. It wasn't a standing start, it was a roll-on start. And then the safety car had to do 2 laps to make sure it was safe, just procedure stuff. So there were 5 laps worth of racing in the rain, or in the drying rain. It wasn't raining anymore, it was drying. This was going to be an interesting ending to the Grand Prix. Alonso could have done so much, or he was able to do so much, and he stayed behind Verstappen, to be fair, at the beginning, the first couple of laps. But then eventually, of course, Max built a gap. He went off to win his 9th win in a row, as expected. Dr. Helmut Marko says a lot of stuff, only because he was a racer and he was the director of AlphaTauri now. But this guy likes to switch out drivers like they were puzzle pieces, like it's nothing. Like they were Legos. Can we go back to Nick De Vries? His first ever race last year in Monza. He finished in the points, which, who was it? Alex Albon? Yeah, Alex Albon was out at that time. Alex Albon wasn't able to race and he finished in the points in a Williams. Mind you, there was a lot of ifs and buts. But what I'm saying is Dr. Helmut Marko is jumping the gun again by saying that Liam Lawson deserves a seat. And he's like, yeah, there's so many drivers that deserve a seat from Formula 2 and from other categories of racing. But that's why it's Formula 1. There's only 20 seats. It's only the best of the best. And you can't be switching out like Legos, because it's not going to work. To summarize, Max Verstappen wins his 9th Grand Prix in a row to match Sebastian Vettel's record. And I don't see why not. I don't see why he's not going to win the Imola, considering Red Bull's straight line speed. I don't see why they're not gonna win that race either when it's the Temple of Speed. And it's gonna be a Red Bull again. Red Bull had to come and beat Red Bull's record. But what annoys me the most is that this man doesn't even care. It doesn't face him. It's like it's clockwork. Like it's nothing. He won the Grand Prix and it was nothing. Like, you know what he said in the post-race interview? He got given a set of puzzles or Legos or something. And you know what he said? And I quote, "Look at this. I got this. It's the highlight of the day for me." Like, he doesn't even care that he won the Grand Prix or 9 Grand Prix in a row. Like, it's normal for him. That's what, man, that pisses. Man, fuck this shit, bro. Yeah, I'm done. Leave it there. Fuck this.